Frank, Alf, I don't really think that Topps gets it. Or they're just not being forthcoming with the information. I'm going to offer a possible solution towards the end of this video. We will dive in. Stick around. What's going on, sports card hobby family? We are back again. It's another day. It's another sports card video. Friends, we are entering into football season, preseason football about to get started here this weekend. I know we had the Hall of Fame game, but it's about to really get serious. Going to start cooling down. Weather's going to start cooling down a little bit. It's about to be fall time, and it's always a great time of the year. We get into fall, we get into the holidays. It's all good. I was going to touch on the gem rate grading, the monthly grading info like we always do, but to be perfectly honest with you, not a whole lot of changes across the board. Just know, I guess, third-party grading hasn't slowed down one bit. Pretty much just kind of doing its thing. Same as last month, not really a lot of surprises. Nobody's stopping grading anytime soon. Grading is not dead. Huge thanks to today's video sponsor, Comc.com. 35 plus million cards in the database, whether it's football, baseball, basketball, hockey, all sorts of cool non-sports entertainment cards there as well. There's always little gems hidden on Comc, so make sure you check it out. You can also grade through them. You can run cards at auction through them. It's an all-encompassing beast that is Comc. I've got links down below in the video description as well as in the pinned comments to start your journey. All right, I was listening to Michael Rubin and Mike something. I think he's the president of Topps Cards. They were sitting down with Jeff Wilson at the National, and they were just kind of talking about innovations at Topps and all the different things going on. A lot of big positive talk, which, hey, look, to be frank, there is a lot of good stuff coming out of Topps, especially from the marketing side. It does seem to be a much better run company than it was before Fanatics took over. So I think there's some positives that we can throw out, but there is one glaring negative that I think we have to kind of point out here and just talk through, because it doesn't feel like either they don't understand, or they're kind of choosing to massage the verbiage a little bit, which could be the case, could just be kind of corporate speak or whatever. But let's kind of dive in. Do we have the clip, Frank? Do we have it? Alf, you might have to run this thing if Frank is just going to lollygag.
We're making up for years of chronic underinvestment in infrastructure and technology and in operations. You combine that with an explosion of growth in the hobby and more products than ever before. Yep. And there's a lot of work to do. There's no easy answers there, but we are investing time, we're investing capital, we are investing resources and mind share to really have the modern version of operations. So some things are a work in progress, some things are going really well, but we're not taking our eye off the ball on any of it.
Yeah. One of the challenges I've heard from some collectors this year is they're concerned about the rising price of products. And I know it's got to be a hard balancing act, because as you said, you're investing in marketing, you're investing in innovation. There's way more investment going into this than ever before, and it's growing the hobby. But at the same time, you know, that some of that's got to be recovered somehow, right? How do you balance between trying to keep the prices affordable for collectors, but being able to invest in all of these other things?
So first and foremost, I'd say, I think from a Topps perspective, we have some of the most accessible prices in the industry, right? You compare baseball, for example, to basketball or football, and the accessibility of that pricing. You compare Chrome and Prism, for example, it's not close, right? So I think that's
you're 100% right.
Number two, the immutable laws of supply and demand apply here.
Right.
And we can push out any price we want, but ultimately the market is going to dictate how valuable they think that product is, and they're going to dictate the price. And we've seen that time and time again. We put out a product for X price, and if it moves generally up, occasionally a product's overpriced and it moves down, but the market responds very quickly with what they believe the price should be, and that ends up being the prevailing price quickly. So we're trying to make the best products we possibly can. We're very conscious of that affordable, accessible price point. We're putting retail product in hobby stores to make sure that affordable first purchase or early purchase, particularly for young kids, is there and available and accessible. Product segmentation to make sure that we do focus on that affordable price point and produce the products that aren't meant to have that massive run up or increase in value. So it's something that we are focused on. It's something that we want to make sure that we address. But at the end of the day, there's going to be different prices for different consumers across the board.
Okay, so let's break this down a little bit. Now, Mike, the president, not Michael Rubin, he's talking about how accessibility, it is there for Topps products. Jeff asked, it's getting more expensive, which, let's just say, hey, new product, it's never been more expensive than it is now. So let's just put that out there. Now, they're going to push back and say, hey, look, demand is probably at all-time highs, which coming off the National, seeing the crowd that was there, seeing the amount of money that's being spent on cardboard, they might not be wrong. I know we talk about kind of the early 90s, that last boom when I was a kid, and we all kind of got into this, and now we're adults and we're in the second boom. Created the second boom probably, 80s, 90s. It still beats that. There is a ton of new energy, and back in the 80s, 90s, you didn't have companies the size of eBay and Fanatics that were taking part. Just not even close. So what Mike says is, hey, look, compared to some of our competitors, he does kind of throw in Panini here when he's talking about, I think he says Panini Prism, as an example. Hey, look, compared to Panini, we're actually very accessible. And I will say Topps does have certain products that are accessible. They've got stuff, what is it? The debut stuff where it's $90 for a hobby box. And you have kind of lesser chase cards, except you do have those debut patches that are thrown in there. So there is a big chase. The one of the better things that they have done as they've taken over is that MLB debut patch where the rookie wears that and then it gets put into a card with an auto. Those are beautiful cards. And so Mike is not wrong when he does say that here, but I think the glaring thing, and Panini, it's not just Topps. We're going to throw in Panini here as well. Actually, let's throw in Panini first. Hobby boxes for Optic are on the secondary market. I think they're $800, $900 a box. And then the first off the line Optic football is like $1,600 a box, $1,500, $1,600 a box. Pretty much all because of downtowns. Isn't that incredible? The downtown has become such like a hobby fixture with repackers and with young people. It's single-handedly driving the secondary price of that card. But it's not as if individuals are buying those boxes. And I think that's where that's where we're going to bring this thing all together here. Individuals are not doing this, at least not on a large scale, in my opinion. I don't have their back-end data, so maybe I'm completely wrong on this, but I think the clear and obvious reason why the secondary prices are so high is because breakers need stuff to break. It's being fractionalized. That is the reason why it's become so expensive. When you look at when Mike talks about, the strength of the secondary market, and he says the market dictates. When he's saying the market dictates, he's mostly talking about the breakers dictating the price of the card because they need product to break, and they make a handsome little sum with their markup to fractionalize it as a breaker. We all know that. Now, I know that, some breaks you lose money. It's not always, but, the good breakers, the ones that know what they're doing, they've been doing this for a while, they're making their money. They're making their money. And so it comes across to me as somewhat disingenuous, and maybe they didn't want to get into the nuance. It's a little, it's a 30-minute talk over there at the National. Maybe that's not necessarily the nuance they want to get into, especially when all in all, it's a high energy, positive interview with Jeff and the Mikes. Michael Rubin throws in Nike sneakers, supply demand with Nike sneakers. I understand what he's saying, and maybe I'm missing it, but are people buying Nike sneakers and then fractionalizing it out in some sort of a break? Are they cutting up, cutting up the Nike sneaker and then, the logo on the back of the Air Jordan, is that the hit, in the sneaker break? I don't think so, but hell, maybe that's a product that I just haven't seen. Like, I'm not a sneakerhead, so maybe that's a product that I missed. But again, I understand the comparison he's making, the analogy, but it's kind of an apples and oranges thing, in my opinion, when I'm looking at this, because it's not individuals. It's not John Smith in Milwaukee that, the second that thing hits at $500 and it shoots up to $800, it's because of John Smith and Beverly, individual people that are buying this product around the country. I'm sure that's some of it. I'm sure some of it is individuals. But look, I was at the National. I was in the Breaker Pavilion. I was at the casino side of the hobby. I was at the casino side of the show. They're opening tons and tons of product. And I do understand that there's allocation that's given out by Topps, of course, especially for the Fanatics Live folks. If you're on Fanatics Live, you're getting all the allocation that you probably need, and they're just going to print that thing. But there's a ton of breakers that are not getting a ton of allocation. And even the big breakers, they probably get a certain amount of allocation, and then they need more of it. So they go to the secondary market. So what happens is the average person, if I was a person that was like, you know what, I'm getting back into the hobby. I used to open up packs when I was a kid. I'm going to open up Topps Chrome, or I'm going to open up Prism, or whatever it is. Optic football. You know, those days are over now. They're over, and it's not because there's some huge individual demand. It's not as if there's 1,000 other individuals like myself, 1,000,000 other individuals like myself that are driving up. You know, they're all buying hobby boxes at the same time, and it's pushing that price up from $500 to $1,000. No, that's not what it is. It's breaking companies that need that product to fractionalize and break. And so if you are someone that's in a breaks, then congrats. Like, this is great for you. You have a lot of options and you can go out and do that. But for all the people that don't do that, that were just looking to open up a box or open up packs, those days are long gone. This environment, it's just not going to happen, which in turn, of course, we've talked about many, many times. It's helped push down singles prices for most singles, frankly. I mean, I've always said, like, don't even bother with a break. Don't bother with a hobby box these days. Just wait a week, wait 2 weeks. All of that's coming on eBay. All of it's coming over to the auction house. Because a lot of people are just buying it. They're looking for a downtown. If they don't get a downtown, everything else is trash. Throw it onto eBay. So for the singles buyer, for the collectors out there, guys, all you have to do is just wait a week and it will be there for you on the bay. Now, here's a solution. Here's something that Topps could do that I think would be taken really well. And they've got, hey, their marketing team does a good job. This is a way that they could kind of, hey, look how we're helping the average Joe person that maybe isn't interested in doing a Fanatics Live break. Me, I'm one of those. You could have some sort of a rewards program. Topps is a old company, long-time company, and Fanatics is all about the data, reading the data, understanding our customer, understanding the collector. You got 100 million people on the email list for Fanatics. Okay, well, take a look at all your data and who have been your best customers? Who have been the people? Identify these two different people. Who are the ones that have been buying hobby boxes from the website and have continued on, even when that hobby box was $100, then it went to $200, then it went to $500. They're still staying loyal to you, and offer them allocation. Almost offer them a steep discount. Hey, thanks so much for sticking with us. Here is 50% off your hobby box this year, your Topps Chrome hobby box. And the same goes for somebody that, hey, look, maybe they were 2017, 18, 19, 20. They were buying, and then when it tripled in price, they bowed out. They've got that data somewhere, that customer data. Reach out to those customers and say, hey, look, we saw that, you bowed out. You haven't been buying product direct from Topps in a while. Let's help you come back in. Hey, have a hobby box on us. Have one at 50% off. Look, guys, this is printing money. This is printing cardboard money. They can throw out a box here or there and then put that on the internet. Put that on social media. Hey, thank you, Beverly, for continuing to buy products, even though, look, we've had some ups and downs. We've had big price increases. Stuff is expensive now. Milk is triple what it was. Eggs are triple what they were 5 years ago, and you're still buying Topps products. Thank you for that. And recognize those average Joe collectors, as opposed to just putting all the focus on the exciting break, the exciting hit, not mentioning the other, the 10 cases where there was complete garbage, and then only putting up the highlight reel onto social media and calling that success. Anyway, just a thought, but again, there's so much talk about the collector serving the collector. This is a way that you could really identify and say thank you to long-time collectors. Most of the collector group of the hobby is not buying into a break right now. They're not. They are collecting specific players. A guy commented on my video yesterday, I'm a big Alex Rodriguez collector. That's not sexy. That's not, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, Mickey Mantle. He collects A-Rod. I've heard of, Vince Carter. I collect Drew Brees. Drew Brees is a great player, but he doesn't have some massive collector base. He's got a collector base. There's definitely collectors for Brees. But, there's people out there that are not just, shooting after that big hit. They're not looking for that shiny whatever. They just collect a set or they collect a specific player, and that's how they work. Why not reward those people? You could also identify brand new customers, because this is also the danger of this. Not everybody, I'm telling you, not every single dad or mom is going to come in. They're going to see the commercial, and their kid's going to be like, Dad, I want some baseball cards. And some of them are going to come in and say, oh, this is kind of a fun new environment. But I guarantee you there's going to be a portion that walk in and are like, what is this? Like, why am we're buying into a break, but we can't pick our team, or I guess maybe we can, but it's cost more it's a confusing mess. And then they go on to a live streaming platform, and Sports Card Radio talked about this. They had some guy up that had all these different markings in the background, give me respect, talking about whatever the hell he's doing. Again, it is like a fair game. It's turned into a carnival, and you go on this live streaming app, and this person what the hell are they even talking about? It's $170 to maybe get this team or that team. It's like, not every mom and dad, I'm telling you right now, that has got discretionary income, they're going to walk up, they're going to see that stream and go, okay, we're in. They're going to see that stream and go, sorry, buddy, we're going to find a different hobby. So figure out how to identify those folks and zero in on those people. It's going to be really, really important for the success overall long-term, in my opinion. All right, my friends, stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.